Okay, I think we're about ready. Let's change this over. Hello! Welcome back to another stream. It is I, Benson, and today I am not going to be continuing the painting of the Jackdaw figure that we've been doing over the last week or so. I'll just switch over to this one, this fella. Remember him? Yep. Not going to be painting him. Today, I am going to be assembling this backwards box. See? Read that one backwards, it says Euripides core box. Rrr, giants. That's what they're supposed to look like in the end. Might not put together all of these. We'll see how I go for time. Tomorrow I am going to a Malifaux Gaming Day, and I thought I'd see if I can get these guys on the table just to have a bit of a play with. We'll see. Okay, let's get cracking. It's 1:30 now. We'll see how much we can get done. So, as I don't know if you're used to assembling or new to this thing, you probably are if you're watching this stream. There's only a couple of tools that I like to use when assembling. I've got my poor, pretty dull hobby knife. I've got a sculpting tool with a couple of fine ends. I use that for scraping. I have two different kinds of clippers as well. I've got these army painted dodgy ones, 45-degree angle on the cut, on the tip there. They're just for my hefty work. And then I've got my nice ones. Can't even read the things on this anymore. Ultra 2.0, Ripler 2.0. Like, jump on like the Gundam assembly sites. They have excellent tools for this sort of thing. But this has a very, very thin cutting angle. Let's see if I can focus in on that. You can sort of see if it works. Focus, you fool. There we go. So quite thin, as opposed to, say, these ones. Oh my goodness. Hard to tell. Can't focus. Anyway, you'll see what I actually get to use. Okay, let's bring the focus back. Okay. Alright, so I have already gone ahead and split apart the sprue that came in the box. They were kind of smashed together and joined, but I've split them up just as per character. Oh yeah, back to tools. I've also got this stuff, contactor. It is a plastic glue, plastic cement, so it'll melt the plastic and kind of fuse it together when it dries. And that's about it. That's all we really need. I don't know what to do first. Probably, let's have a look. Let's go for the primordial magic. This snaky fella. Grr. It was affectionately known as the puke snake back in the previous edition of Malifaux, because it looked like a snake vomiting, basically. Okay. No one used to like that model. I don't think anyone who liked that particular version of the model. I'm just going to go ahead and clip all the things here. Clip them off. It's not like we can get lost as to what parts are what. Very, very easy cuts with this particular brand of clipper. And I've also noticed, like, Malifaux has a lot of small bits and pieces, and sometimes when you're using something like this, and it's kind of got to press it, it kind of tiddlywinks it, it shoots the piece off flying. Doesn't happen with these things, which is nice. Okay, so that looks like it's a sculpted base. Let's get to the main body of it. Cut out, just to see how it fits. I've also did a quick look online just to see if there were any assembly instructions, because there's none in the box. Couldn't see any. Weird, the manufacturer has an assembly guide search functiony type thing on their site, and no results. So we'll see how we go. It's like a puzzle. How's everything looking on that? Looking alright? Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. So assembly is much faster than painting, obviously. A lot of people don't bother with mod lines, and that gives me the irrits. I can't help but have to clean them. You may notice that my face cam is a nice border. Look, ooh, pretty border, yay! Thank you, Fiverr. Or the fella who I can't remember the name of, from who I purchased it from. Gave him the logo and he whipped me up a few things, which is nice. Okay, almost all taken off. There's no right or wrong way, well, maybe there is a wrong way to assembly miniatures. I tend to make sure that I can paint inside of things. Like, I don't want to fully assemble a miniature and then realize I can't get underneath an armor or whatever. So we'll just do part assemblies in that case. But just having a look here, popping the body of this snake onto the base. It doesn't look like that I'll have any issues painting anywhere in there, so I think that'll be fine to glue. What else have we got? Just looking back at the picture here, we got a head. How does the head go on? I don't know what that looks like. Looks like a bottom of a thingy. Okay, so we have grooves and grooves. What if we snip that into that? That looks promising. Okay, so it looks like a jaw. See, why would you need to do that? Anyway. And then, looks like a tongue goes in this little groovy bit. I'll just focus that a bit. What? How does the tongue go in? It kind of curves around like this, I think. Plop. That feels fine. And then, top of the jaw? No, that's the bottom. So we do it the wrong way the entire time. Upside down, upside down. Okay, that looks fine in terms of being able to paint. We can get everything in there. Not too difficult. So I'll just set that there. And then we've got bits. I'm assuming they go on the base. Maybe. Okay, here we go. Let's see, that on that part. That looks promising. Alright. Does this, if I put these swirly bits on, can this thing fit on there? It can. Does it affect my painting? Nothing that I don't think I can work around. Alright. What else have we got? This bit fits into there. 2 more to go. Does this fit in there? That's looking alright. And then that bit is the only piece left, so that has to fit in there. Get in there, you thing. Maybe that has to go first. I'll probably need to trim these, that's why it's not fitting, because they're probably super flush. I don't know, but that fit there fine. And then that's supposed to go... How about we wait and do... Let's just clean the bits now. Okay, so... A couple of different methods. A lot of people scrape like this. That's fine. I often tend to end up cutting, so getting the edge of the blade, this bit here, and then pushing away, like that. But I often just cut like you would normally, get your blade, and then push it down, so you got the cutting, like you're chopping something. You've got to be a lot more careful in that way, because put too much pressure or you slip, not only you may cut yourself, but you might also cut a bit of the miniature that you're not wanting to. Scraping safer, but I think both have their uses. Especially if it's a chunky bit of sprue that's left on there. I find cutting's easier. But I've been doing this for a long time. So with a couple of the larger sprue bits gone, we are now looking for mold lines. So when the mold's put together and the plastic injected, there's usually a fine seam, some not so fine. See if I can focus on this so you can have a look. Let's see if it comes up on camera. You might notice, where's the focus point? Yeah, that slight ridge there. Here. That's the mold line. We don't want that, because when you go to paint, it'll pop up quite obviously. So I'm just doing the scraping method, taking the blade and pushing it or dragging it across the line. Alrighty, let's put that back down. Okay. Looking alright, looking alright. My workspace will get quite messy. Hopefully you don't have OCD and start freaking out and then write me a stern letter or well-composed email. Okay, what else we got? It's not too bad, the mold line to this one, just because of how it looks, like it's all kind of messed up anyway. So I don't think anything would stand out even if we leave it, but I can't help it, I gotta get them all. Because there'll be one, you know it, you'd ignore it and then you go to paint it and then it stands out like a sore thumb. And there's a couple of ways to go about fixing that, but I'll explain it if it ever comes up. Varnish helps. There you go, there's a tip. Put a bit of varnish on it. It's a bit of a gap filler. Okay, yeah, that'll do. Now we'll do the head bits. So this is the bottom of the jaw. Getting rid of that chunky bit of sprue. And on the chin here, that's where it was connected. That's fine. Tongue. Just the chunky bit. Just a cut and a bit of a scrape. I'm being very delicate because I don't want to snap anything here. And a blow, sorry if this affects the microphone. I think that sounded alright. And the main section of the top of the jaw. Cut that bit off, scrape the rest, clean it up. Okay. And what's that? That's where the nose would be. Now there is a bit of a mold line kind of running along this, the tooth mark here. I'm just going to very, very gently scrape along that, just to try and dumb it down a bit. Because of all those fine teeth there, I kind of don't want to destroy them. But we can easily paint around that, so that should be fine. Clean up the corners and the edges. Okay. And now the top part of the top of the head. Cut off that chunky bit, scrape to clean it up. And this flat bit should be flat. Okay. That's looking pretty good. Everything else is pretty flat. What? I've just noticed something. This looks like it should be part of something. Buggered if I know where that would normally sit. Yeah, how about we set that aside and find out later. Okay. Base, it's got a few notches here from where it came off. So it's gonna cut. And cut. And cut. Feels nice and smooth. Don't have to worry too much because this is a decorative base. That's what it's called. It's an insert. So there's the actual base. It'll sit in there. So I just needed to make sure it was flat. And there's no real mold lines on that I can see. If it is, it's on the edge, which we don't care. Alright, let's work on these wispy flamey bits. There's a bit of a ridge there. I'll cut that, then scrape down. Think of scraping as sanding, essentially. You could use an emery board, but I'd only do that if it was a resin figure. That's just my preference. Okay, now this is the bit that sticks onto that decorative piece, so this has to be flat. Cut and scrape. Wish I had nicer looking hands instead of these. Look at these face huggy looking tendril things. It's disgusting. Be a hand model for Giga, HR Giga. Alright, so just scraping some stuff off there. Okay. Bit of a mold line there. Alright, almost done, and then we can start gluing, and that'll be the first figure down. The least important of the entire crew done. Now, I haven't played with these guys before. I haven't even really theoried how they work. I just kind of read the stat cards and they look pretty cool. These ice giants, essentially. And in the game, they have mechanics to kind of make it easier for you to flip the cards that you need, because Malifaux, if you don't know, it doesn't use dice, it uses a deck of cards. And as a deck of cards, you have a known quantity of numbers. Unlike dice, where if you roll 10 dice, you can get all 6s or all 1s. If it's a deck of cards, you know there's only 4 1s, 4 2s, 4 3s and whatnot. So these guys can kind of manipulate that by looking at the deck and rearranging it in small forms. But they also, and this is the way I like them, is they can create ice pillars and then throw those ice pillars at people. Okay, gluing time. Got my contactor. Just make sure that some glue comes out. Just scrape it. Because it can dry in the tip here, it's a very, very, very fine tip. I just squeeze it like I'm trying to glue and then scrape the tip and just wait for something to come out. You can burn it as well because it's flammable, so if you take this little bit out, pop, and then burn the ends, but I don't have a lighter with me. And I don't want to bust out the matches just to do that, but I find this works well enough. Okay. I say well enough. It's not working. There we go. Alright. So let's get this head down. So the top of the head. Just a little bit. Don't need a whole lot. Don't want to flood it. I don't know if you can see all that, nice and shiny. And then slap this fella on there. And press. And hold. Okay. Where does the tongue go? Oh, it goes in there. And now we'll do the tongue. Get a dot in there. And let's see how this goes in this way. You should see. Yep, okay. So it's nice and wet, means the glue's come out. Press down a bit and it'll coil around. I'll probably scrape that a bit more, a bit ridgy. Okay. Alright. And the bottom jaw. Okay, let's see, where do we need to glue? We'll put the glue on the bottom part. Anywhere that's sort of flat. And on the top there. And slam that puppy in. Shaklacky. And hold. Alrighty, that's almost done. Now we gotta pop this face on this fella. Let's hope I don't have to do that in a specific order. No, it just goes in. So I should have dry fit it before. So this is where I start to question, do I glue this head on now or not? Just because if I glue it on now, will I be able to paint in there? Let's see. If the base is, if it's on the base there, can I see underneath? And make sure I get in all those little angles. Yeah, I reckon I can. Let's go him on. So it's around the edge and in the divot. And on the neck. And press. Don't want to press too hard, don't want to make that jaw fly off. Okay, so I'm lucky that this bit kind of fits well and the seam there isn't too big. Paint can easily cover that up, which is nice. And shall we stick this guy on now? We have 4 bits. Let's see. I think that was wrong. I think that was right. And the second bit, not that one. Maybe that one. Possibly that one. It's all about the order now. So if we put that in first. And I'm just guessing that this is the correct way as well. Because there's, again, no instructions. Okay, it doesn't quite feel like it should go in there. Alright. No, I think we're right. And does this guy pop on top? Yes, it does. And then that guy, does he pop on top? Yes. Okay, so there is an order to this thing. First one. Is the frontmost. Right in the edge. I'm going to pop it, push it in that direction to try and make sure it nice and tight in the corner there. And that glue should just sort of hold it there like a tack. And then I'll put a bit more glue on the other side and do the next bit. And basically popping it straight down on top of it. See that glue squeeze out of there? That's what we want. That's how we know it's nice and tight. Now while this is wet, we can even just maneuver that glue so it's not pooling and then hardening into a bubble. So we just push it where it needs to go. And I'm not too concerned about the not being able to paint in there. That'll be nice and dark or bright, so it's not like we have to add any detail to that bit. And more glue. Pop that one straight down. Okay, there we go, getting wispy. Alrighty, and popping that one there. Okay, now if he's there, does this work? It's a very frustrating puzzle, that's what it is. There's no real groove on here other than the flat bit and flat bit. Okay, so snake goes down first. Glue and squeeze. We should see glue come down the bottom. Yep. And that last wispy bit. Okay, and push. See my little finger, it's getting better. Just a band-aid now. I suppose the last time the stitches came out. Still hurts like a mofo when when I knock it on something. But it's on the mend. So you can see a bit of a seam. I'm just going to put a little bit of glue here on the seam and move that about, because then when it dries it'll cover it up. And if I don't like the shape, I can just cut it and sculpt it back in. But that's that done. That's the primordial magic. Do I stick it on the base now? Nah, I'll just blue tack him when I want to pay him. Okay, 1. Next. Let's go the big boy, shall we? Euripides himself. Euripides? No. I did not. It is my friend Euripides. Poor bugger rips his pants all the times. Okay, so clippity doodah, the big bits first. Is there any better way of doing that one? Probably not. Maybe if I cut the flat bits here. So I can already see just from looking at this guy that there is going to be a bit of cleanup for the mold lines. The edges are quite a bit thicker. Alrighty, back. And his body slash thighs. I hope these guys aren't rubbish to play with. That'd be a shame. That was his front. One of the arms. Okay. What else can we do? His legs, probably. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and 4. What are these bits? I don't know. Let's cut them out and see. Looks like a limb of some sort. I am on the clock. What's the time? 2 o'clock. So it's been a half hour. Don't have much longer to go. I'll definitely need to be done by maybe 3:30, 4 o'clock. So I've got to get some more housework done and going out to tea and seeing a movie. Seeing Joker, the Joaquin Phoenix movie. What was that? Was that the song? Sound like the song? I don't know. What are these bits? Head. A head looks like a head. Can't get confused there. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Hand. Okay. And then, what's all these other bits? Garnish, it looks like. Okay. Almost there. Getting hooked on the microphone cord. What a pain to get this part. Okay. Alrighty, just a couple more bits of embellishment and then we'll get to cleaning. My friends are probably sick of hearing this, but get yourself a decent set of clippers or nippers, as they are often called. Like good, not expensive. Don't get fooled, they're not the same. You want it at a very low cutting angle, and you want it to cut, not pinch. Because when it pinches, that's when things go flying. Alrighty, double check, make sure there's nothing else left on the sprue. Doesn't look like. Okay, you can throw that piece away. What is that song? It's hurting my ears. Go away. Let's get to cleaning. Body first. Snap all the, or cut all the bits that were attached to the sprue. Just feeling with my hand. Where is some more? There's another one. Making it flat so I know that the join will be nice and tight. And then you should be able to clearly see that mold line there. Right here. We definitely need to get rid of that one. So cut the chunky bit, scrape the rest. And all of this scratchiness will disappear with the undercoat. Okay, now there, I could go ahead and, yes I will go ahead and just go around this entire edge that I can feel a ridge. Because they will definitely show when painting. Okay. Having a good look. It's the pointy bits that are the most annoying. You don't want to scrape too much off because it could bend, or you could just take the entire thing off. Okay. Alrighty. More there, more there. So let's just have a look, see how this guy goes together, and where I have to clean. Well, first I've got to get rid of that chunky bit because it's not going to fit otherwise. There's another chunky bit. And another chunky bit. Dechunkified, right. That is quite tight. Alrighty, let's go back to the reference image. This guy, grr. Alrighty. Oh man, this guy's gonna be a pain in the eye. Neck to paint. What's this? Come at me, bro. Arm doing. Okay, that arm is fine. I can get in there to paint. It's like a 3-part arm on this side. It's holding a cloth, so the cloth would have to go there. So what goes on top of that? Spikes? I don't know. That's not spikes. What's this thing? That's what it is. So if we put the armagnon and then this thing on tube. Okay, that thing on top should keep it. It doesn't fall out easily, but it's not tight. This is where we're starting to struggle in terms of, can I get underneath there to paint? I'm definitely not going to be able to get in this part if this thing is on there. Because then you also got the belty bit, so they can't go on there if this isn't on there, because otherwise that's not happening. Okay. Starting to find an order. 1, 2. Can I paint in there? I could probably get base coats under. That would seem okay, I think. But as soon as this thing goes down, then it just ruins the entire painting experience. So I'm going to leave that out. And the come at me bro arm. That's fine. The head will be fine. The back? What have we got on the back? Ah, that's where the spikes go. Fine. What is this then? Maybe it's for this. Okay. Alrighty, so that attaches to this arm. Difficult decision. Do I do or do I do and not do it? How about the legs then? That's fine. That'll be fine. Legs are fine. Okay. So I guess we just have a problem arm. Alright, so we've got a couple of assemblies here. Now we know what we're doing. We'll finish scraping these really very obvious lines. Okay. Man, they're big. They're so big it makes you question if it's mold line or if it's supposed to be part of the actual model. Does the book? No, it doesn't help it. Thanks. I'm just going to get rid of it. it looks like a defect. So you cut it off, scrape the rest, smooth it out. Again, don't worry if it looks messy and scratchy. As long as you feel it and it's nice and smooth, that's all that matters. Give it a tap, get rid of all that scrapage. If I pop that back on, is it easy to see the line? Yeah, that'll be a thick mold line. Hopefully we can fill that with the glue. Okay, feel the edge, no ridge. Okay, that's the top and one side sort of almost done, not quite. Gotta be positive about these things, one step at a time. Okay, alrighty, how's this looking? I guess the top bit was the most offensive part, everything else is okay, or will be hidden from other bits as they glue it on top. So seeing as this will be the next bit that goes in, let's do that now. Don't have to worry too much there. We got rid of the chunkies earlier. These are all going to be glued. That's fine. Looks like there's more gluing there. Make sure that's nice and neat. Probably don't need to do this bit since that's under the model, and you're probably not going to be able to see underneath it anyway. I haven't thought about how to paint or base these guys yet. Waiting for inspiration to hit me, I think. Okay. It's also very good when you're removing mold lines is to move the figure about in the light, because sometimes they're invisible until they hit a certain angle. And then they'll just stand out like a sore thumb. Okay. We're just about there with this bit, which is good. It's only taken us 10 minutes to do that. I just thought it was decent with my painting speed. Maybe I'm just delusional. Tap it, remove that, okay. Alrighty. I don't know if anyone else is keen for CanCon, Canberra's gaming convention next year, January, Australia Day weekend. Got my ticket. Age of Sigmar sold out, what was it, 220 or 240 tickets? Like in 12 hours, not even, probably. I will be playing Kings of War, got my ticket for that one, and it is currently at 50 players or so, last I checked. I don't know if you can hear it. I have a Resident Hoon. That's nice on his dirt bike. Making beautiful music with his bloody motorbike. Okay. Alrighty, let's give that a glue in. Seeing as this is the bit that's going on top, I'm going to glue around the edges of this thing. The glue's probably dry, let's give it a bit of a squeeze and a scrape. Okay. Where else will it contact that other part? I think the entire thing. So the entire thing we shall do. Okay, so that glues something else. Alright, so that'll be fine. Nice and shiny on the edges there. Let's slap that boy in. And squeeze. Anaconda squeeze. Okay, and with those big gaps there, well, it's not really a gap, it's a divot. I'm going to put some glue on top because this will dry, form a fairly solid barrier. And I'll clean it up before painting. Smooth it out with a maybe file or a knife, whatever. Because again, this type of glue melts the plastic. Okay. But because it does that, you have to be careful, like if while it's still wet, not to touch it, because then you'll get a fingerprint on top of it, or it gets all tacky and starts to string. Good solid presses. Alrighty, that's one part done. Next, sub-assembly. Ah, let's just whack that on there. Okay, so we'll clean the arm while that's drying. Looks like there's some decent mold lines on that one. Okay. Have a feel, make sure it's nice and smooth. Shouldn't stress too much about that side because that's the bit that'll be stuck to the body. But these are the important bits here because they will be facing the world for everyone to see. I'm sorry that I haven't streamed in a few days. A bit of work on, and video games. Video games always seem to take up hobby time. Playing some Monster Hunter World, Iceborne. I think I'm like 212 hours or something like that. Total of the Monster Hunter game. And this is my second run as well because my save file stuffed up at one point. That was 100 hours in. Didn't save to the cloud. Had to start again. Okay, feeling good. Not much else to clean there. What is that bit? Can't feel it. Oh well. Oh wait, he's got a gaff there. What goes there? This? No. How about this one? No. Mystery divot. Alright, we'll work that out later. When it's too late. As is often the case with Malifaux figures. And unlike super glue, you can't just snap it off with this stuff. You have to cut it out because it's fused and melted together. What kind of... does that look weird to you? I don't know. My first response is, it's weird. Alrighty, getting into all them phalanges. Which he only has 4. Is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. There you go. Doesn't need that extra finger, obviously. Is that looking alright? Yeah, that'll do. Oh wait, that's a big ridge. Gotta cut that off because otherwise it may not glue properly. That'll be an absolute disaster. Alright, how's that? Feeling fine, let's glue him in. Can I contact it? You know, I haven't bought a second bottle. I'm still using this. This is last years and years and years and years and years, and it still feels like it's half full. Value for money. I don't know how they're making their money. Revel. I guess they'd sell other things. It just makes economic sense. Okay. Squeeze. The gaps there aren't so bad, so I'm just going to push in some of the glue that's squeezed out. That is quite thick there. Can that go in any further? Nope. So let's fill it with a bit of glue. Okay. I haven't checked this stream. That's looking alright. I think it's better, more in focus than the painting stream. If we whack his head on there, will that affect anything? I don't think so. I think we can do that. Let's clean his face. The grot. Old man Euripides. Reminds me of Old Snake from Metal Gear Solid. Eye patch. Grisly disposition. Probably voiced by David Hayter. What's with his mouth? It's open in that image. It's like Neo from the Matrix in that one, when he meets Agent Smith for the first time. That seems, is that a defect? We will never know. I feel like that's something I should cut out, but then it'll just look stupid. Alright, we'll leave it there and regret our decisions later. Can't quite get in there. I'll just snip them. Cut that chunky divot out. Okay. Streaming for almost an hour and we're not even 2 figures through. Looking good to being ready for tomorrow. Leaving at 8 o'clock. Another 2-hour drive to get where I need to be. It's going to be a long day. I think there's an Beyond the Gates of Antares campaign or gaming day, International Gaming Day tomorrow, which would have been good to be a part of. I haven't played that game for a little while. Enjoyed it. Like bolt action, but with sci-fi. Space dudes. Alrighty. Getting together. What did we say next? I do not know. Leg. That looks safe. We'll do that. If I can get this guy together, his mate Thune, and one of the gigants, I'll be happy. So then I can pop in some other figures from a different crew. So it's not just pure giant. So I was cutting this bit here and not scraping just because they looked a bit thick. And of all the different ridges there, I didn't want to mash the detail away. Okay. I had a bit of a crack on Maya, the 3D animation program. You can create 3D models and animate them, pick them up. So create some ice pillars for this guy. So I've drawn that up, given that to a mate to throw on his 3D printer, and he reported back this morning that it turned out okay. So we're gonna, I'll inspect them tomorrow and hopefully we can make a decent amount, because apparently these guys throw out a lot of ice pillars. Instead of just using a flat 30mm marker, make it a bit more atmospheric and themic by having an actual ice spire. It's all about the aesthetics. If you've got nice looking figures, a nice looking table, don't want to just cover it in markers. That just ruins the whole look. Okay, so having a feel, making sure it's nice and smooth. Nice and smooth. It is. Alright, do we need to worry about these toes? I don't think so. Okay, let's whack him in the old JVC. And squish. That doesn't look right, does it? This bit here. Like, I feel like there's something missing there. It's definitely the correct leg. Maybe something goes on top. Reference image. Tell us your secrets. Thanks, reference image, you're no help. Let's do the other leg. Vibe in this song. Chips ahoy, mateys, by Big Giant Circles. Like a bit of chip tune. That's another thing I've been playing recently. Cuphead with a mate on his Switch. Bit of a challenging game. I think we're giving up right at the end though. Like we're right towards the end, and it just seems like a ridiculous challenge to force to try and get over, because you have to fight 3 mini bosses and then the main boss all on the same life, and the main boss is just ridiculous. You just have to be perfect with your parries. We know how to do it, but we don't want to have to sit there and practice over and over and over and over and over just to get that bit done. And it wouldn't be so bad if it didn't load as long as it did between each mini-boss, so even getting to the main boss takes, I don't know, 10-15 minutes to try again. Ain't nobody got time for that. Unless you do, and then I guess some people do have time for that. Not me, says I. Okay, that was a nice quick appendage. Glue him on, it in. Don't think a leg has any sort of gender. Not even a leg, it's a lower leg. Alrighty, there's no proper groove or place to set it, so I'm just hoping for the best, that it doesn't slip. Alrighty, looking alright. Let's smooth out that glue there. Okay. At least he can stand on a base now. Let's get this other assembly done. His arm there. So if that snaps into the shoulder there, and then we've got this bit that goes on top, and then we have a hand bit that joins the two. I think I can paint that like that, so we'll do that. Okay, so get rid of the chunkies, which something is going to be on top of. Doesn't need to be neat, just needs to be flat. Bicep. Cloth. Nice and gentle here, as to not flatten the grooves. I don't know what's going on there. If I don't know it, maybe we'll leave it. There is a chunky bit there. I'm going to cut instead of scrape to remove that. And then scrape the rest to neaten it up. Elbow, back of the arm, another large line. Started listening to the Lord of the Rings audiobook today. Churned through all my usual podcasts. Now I've got a 30 odd hour book to get through. It shouldn't take me too long, I do a lot of driving. Always struggle trying to actually read the book. There's just names and names and names, and I just got confused. Then I probably went and played the video games, less confusing. Alright, that's done. Now what was the bit that kind of whacked into the arm? It's not that. Did I just lose it? That's the hand. That's the shouldery bit. What is this? That's his thing. Spike, spike, spike. No, it is this bit. Okay. It just looks like the pants bit there. Alright. Okay. Yeah, I think definitely for the next stream I might subscribe to this pretzel thing just so the chat isn't filled with song names. I can actually see what's going on. Not that anyone's saying anything, but future-proofing, that's what it is. Sure, why not? Alright, there's not much to this one, thankfully. Let's join these two in unholy matrimony by forcing them together with plastic glue. Haha. But they were designed for one another. Ah, isn't that nice? Okay. Let's just move some of this glue to create those cloth lines again. Okay. And the hand of the king. Get rid of that. Get rid of that nodge. And everything else there is going to be hidden by the cloth. So we'll just double check this fingies and thumbs. It's got some fabulous nails. Surprised they're not scraggly. Seeing as he's throwing nice pillars about. Okay, okay, okay. Excuse the blowing. I think that's good enough. And does it fit though? Yes. Alright. Slather this in gluey goodness. And right in there. Is he wearing a toga? Is that why he's holding it? Or is it just a stray piece of cloth that he likes to keep? I don't know. Weird. That's feeling fine. So that's that assembly done. Oh, forgot we didn't glue that in. Do we need to glue that in now? We can get under everything, which is good. Yes, we glue that in now. Get rid of the chunkies. It does nothing good for us. Okay. Nice and smooth, nice and smooth. This not smooth. Not smooth. I don't know if anyone has ever played Ring of Red. It's an old PS2 era game. It's a turn-based strategy, but with mechs in the like World War One era. I had a craving to play it again recently. I got pretty far into it when I initially bought it back in the days of yore. It was very long though, I think that's why I stopped. Being an art student at the time, my educational demands were quite heavy. I lie, it was 10 contacted hours a week. Yay, art. Okay. I shouldn't scoff. Look what I'm doing. I'm painting. I guess it came with something then, didn't it? Not wasted. Alright, clip that in. Oh, it looks like we've got some large lines in here too that need filling. Do we need to worry about this bit here? If this is going on top? Can you... Yep, we do. Now, because it's quite thick, I don't know if the glue is actually going to do anything here. We might actually have to fill it once it's all dry. You can also do, get some of these shavings that we'll be doing and sprinkle it on, because it'll melt. And then we can kind of sculpt it in. Don't want to clog the lot there. We just add a little bit of glue. And watch it melt. And with these lines, it's quite easy to sculpt because you basically get your little end here and you just kind of move it across and creating those divots. But it needs to melt first. Get in there. I was going to get my sculptor's tool, wet it a bit with my saliva, and cram it in there. There we go. How's that for a pro tip? Making that line not so much. And then you just move that about backwards and forwards to reintroduce those lines. Yeah, get your plastic shavings and sprinkle it on to some wet. Don't put the glue on top because it just gets real messy, so make sure there's a bit of pool of glue. Sprinkle on top and then you can push that plastic in. You can go a bit more there. Just to fill the gap. How is that? Doesn't look like much, but the point is to fill the gap so when you paint there's not a big hole. And that's fine. Anything else I need to worry about? Yep. If you can see, there at his hip. Quite large. Do the whole sprinkly trick again. And kind of work that. That's hard for you to see because of the shadows. Work that into the edge. With the newly melted plastic. I thought it was a good tip. I hadn't heard anyone doing this before. I thought it was something that I'd give it a go a little while ago, and it worked. So pass it on. Plastic glue and glue shavings. Just tap that, get the excess off. There we go. No more gip. This still looks dodgy. I don't know what is going on there. And I don't want to gap fill. Maybe I'll do it on his knee. That's quite severe. I just completely missed it. There we go.